Getting set up for this exercise, you're going to start with your feet planted on the floor, knees bent at 90 degrees, and I often recommend to sit at the edge of a chair or bench. And this is because often we have a tendency to collapse when we don't realize it. And this sitting at the edge just kind of helps us sit lifted up. So for this exercise, we're going to do a few twists, but feeling really centered in your pelvis is really important. It also can help with a lot of shoulder tension, back tension, because the more connected we feel to those sit bones, it's like it solves almost all of our problems. So from the side, I'm just going to turn here so you can see my knees are bent at about 90 degrees or so, avoiding this, avoiding that, avoiding that. I'm sure you can imagine all the different positions you might fall into. We all do it, so don't stress. But this is just a good way to help us reconnect and have strength, because we want to at least have the ability to hold ourselves up like this in a neutral position for a duration of time. When we're watching a movie, relaxing, okay, cool, don't worry. I'm not gonna ask you to sit up perfectly for a whole 2 hours sitting. Yes, no, okay. So, but if we're eating a meal, or occasionally if we have to sit for a little while, we wanna have some endurance to be able to hold this. Okay, so from here, if you're feeling a little bit disconnected with your hips, maybe you feel your pelvis just kind of rocks back a little bit like this, what you can do is just kind of hold underneath your sit bone area. So just find those bony bits of your bum and just kind of, and maybe massage by moving your hand underneath your hips, or just moving your hips on your hands. And it's just gonna help your brain locate those areas. And you can also just imagine like you're pulling that part of your pelvis away. So sometimes just doing a little spread like this can help, especially if that area is tight. And you can switch and just see how you feel on the left side, see if you feel connected. And sometimes even just sitting on your hand, crushing your hand can just be enough to just really give us a sensation. And then moving your hand, and then sitting down, noticing your sit bones. Now, as all that's good and connected, I'm going to get you to just feel very light with your breath, breathing in and out through your nose. And we're going to go into a simple twist. So we're going to take our left hand to start. We're going to cross it over to our right thigh, and we're just going to twist and look over our shoulder. And when we do this, just allow your eye gaze to just move with the ribs. Feel the stretch in your neck. If your head feels like it's cranked, maybe it's like that. Just imagine you're turning your head this way, so it's kind of straight. And then just allow the ribs to move and twist to help you see a little bit further without having to overuse any muscles. And breathing in and out through the nose. If you feel back pain, maybe don't go as far, or maybe just connect with your sit bones. Do you feel secure here? Are your feet planted? And then taking a break, come back to center for a second, and then we're gonna switch over to the left. So placing your right hand on your left thigh, pressing that hand into the thigh as you do a little bit of twist. So this arm is working, and I'm feeling a stretch through here. And just see how far you can go without overdoing it. The goal is to not overdo it. It's just to go wherever you feel comfortable at this point. And as you do the exercise, you will feel a really good stretch on the side ribs. Perfect. And then depending on where you feel tight, you might want to do this 2 to 3 times on each side, or on the most affected side. However, sometimes if we're feeling really stiff, for example, on the left side, that doesn't mean we shouldn't not do the right, because sometimes our left is tight because our right is tight or not moving as smoothly. So again, try doing both sides, but maybe if you want to do an extra set or 2 on the impacted side, okay. Then from here, as all that's feeling really nice, we're going to add some arm movements to just open up the ribs and the chest and the arms a little bit more. So we're going to start with our left hand on our right thigh, and if that feels a bit too hard, like maybe you just can't reach, maybe your arms are not as long, or maybe you have tension in the rib cage, you can always grab a always grab a block, and you can just place it on your hand if need be. And then from here, just do a nice twist, pressing that hand into the block as you twist and move the arm over like this. So from here, nice and center, arm forward. Think about lifting or turning that thumb down, and then lift the arm up and then wave your palm. So flip the palm right here as you bring it down by your side, and then come back to center. Breathing in, and then exhale. And you'll notice my left arm will move a little bit, and that's fine. So as long as you feel just a little bit of stability from that left side, so this left hand lightly pressing into that right thigh, it just gives my body trust to know that it's okay to move. And also feeling those sit bones again connected on the seat. And then switching over to the next side, so I cross my right hand on my left thigh, center my left arm so my hand is nice and forward, and then turn my palm downwards so the thumb is pointing down, and then do a beautiful wave wherever it feels good, so don't overdo it. Just work within your range, and you'll notice your chest, your arms will start to open up the more that you practice this. And also, if you feel this is hard or really stiff, this is a natural movement we want to be able to do. So if it's stiff, especially around the arms, this means that you're going to need to practice this probably a little bit more regularly than what your program says. But over time, it will start to feel better. Importantly though, if you do have a lot of shoulder restriction or a lot of shoulder pain when doing this, do not do it. So listen to your body. But obviously if there is no pain and it's just maybe a bit of tension and you know that you're moving correctly, then continue and practice it, because those fibers are going to open up and lengthen and widen, and it's going to give you more range the more that you practice.